Grand Parnassian wonder, the Grand Parnassian wonder, Mahatma Louis M.L. Chemius. And then the second is from a line from Ezra Pound, what thou lovest well remains, the rest is dross. What thou lovest well is thy true heritage. And so these are things kind of about being in the studio that were interesting to me. And so I'm just finishing a lot of these paintings.
Oh.
Can we see each other? Got it. Leave meeting. What does it say? This meeting is being reported. Got it. Okay, I'm here. Okay. Here comes someone that looks familiar.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
You're in Arizona, right?
Yes, I'm outside of Phoenix.
We're doing these little tours. So can you show us something about outside of Phoenix that's outside of your house?
Sure. You want to see my yard? I've got a big, okay. I live in an over 55 community, and my husband and I moved here 12 years ago, and we built the house. And let's see, how do I do this? This is my
Oh my.
Oh, we see your blue sky. That's amazing. Clouds.
And this is my part of my yard, and a rose garden and kids' chairs. And then this is the other part of my yard. So that's where I live.
How
out in the blue skies, it's windy and it's about 100 degrees.
Which Ellen is this? Is this Ellen Kosacek?
Yes, it is. What is your name?
I'm John Lees.
Hi, John.
Now, you didn't remember me when I reintroduced myself at the 40th, but you and I were both in our town, and
oh my God,
you played one of the ladies of the chorus.
Yes.
I was the choir master, the drunken choir master.
Oh, how fun.
And you went to Westlake for a while, didn't you?
Yes, I did, for about 1.5 years. Yes.
Okay. My mother was Mrs. Lees, the Latin teacher.
Oh my God, I took her. She was my teacher.
Yeah, she mentioned when I said
yeah, or something. I don't know, a moss. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice meeting you again, John.
Well, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, this is my my abode.
It's
and beautiful. I love it.
Thank you for showing us.
And John, you're an artist?
Yes, yeah.
We're seeing his studio.
Okay, well, I have a little studio here too.
Oh, terrific.
I do things like this and like this.
What's the media? Is it glass? It's ceramic.
Are mine. These are all mine.
Oh, cool.
But the media is ceramics?
Yes. Yes, and I have a studio here.
Do you have a kiln?
Yes, I have a kiln and I have a wheel. My husband knew that this lovely community we live in would never be like Sun City and never have a ceramic studio. So we formed our own.
Well, let's see your studio, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. Hold on. It's a combination studio and I was in the travel business. So this part of my studio was for travel. And this part was a studio for doing ceramics.
Where's your kiln?
And I have a wheel here. Oh, through this door is my garage. And I have a kiln in the garage and I have a sink in the garage. And it's wonderful, but I do take lessons and I go 45 minutes from here downtown Phoenix to take the lesson, so because I have a lot of friends in the class. But I have all wood floors in my house except my studio and the bathrooms. And so we built a door from our house to the garage so that I didn't have to walk through the house with, clay on my hands.
Perfect.
So that's my studio.
Oh, thank you. This is so great.
That's cool.
Why don't you show and tell your dog? Is your puppy all grown up now?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can get them if anybody wants to see them.
I'll
Sure.
I'll show
Yeah.
you, Bella. Come here, Bella. Come here, Bella. Come here, baby.
Hot in here.
But okay, here's Bella. She's all grown up.
What kind of dog?
Bella, you're looking the wrong way. She's a mini Australian Shepherd.
Oh, lovely. Pretty
She's-
dog.
Yeah, it's good she's pretty because she can be very demanding.
Yeah. That's fun.
Cuteness goes a long way.
Hi, Bella. Okay, we'll see whose dog is cutest. Oh, Peggy's is pretty cute.
Pretty cute, isn't he? This
Is
is
he all grown up now?
yeah, a year and 4 months.
She's
He's like
almost 2 months.
Really cool little dog.
What is she?
She's Yorkshire Terrier.
Thank you.
Ah, okay.
So I've always had dogs that end up being crazy. And this is literally the first one somehow is normal. I don't know why I lucked out, but I have one other here I'll show you, and she's a little crazy.
White.
John, are you a professional artist?
Yeah, I paint and exhibit and teach and
That's wonderful.
yeah,
That's really wonderful.
yeah.
Hold it up, Peg. We can't see.
So that's Minnie.
Oh,
She's a little crazy. She's a Yorkie. I rescued her about 2 years ago. So it's not my fault that she's she is. It's somebody's fault, but not mine. But you know, we love her. What can you do about it?
yeah.
One of my dogs had a seizure last night, so we were a little nervous about today, but
Ooh.
Ruth took her to the vet, and I guess it's a seizure. I don't know if she's epileptic. She's about 5, so that was very kind of scary yesterday, but she seems better now. Oh, Joe Rosenberg just joined. Good.
Okay, so we were going to talk about the reunion and talk about turning 80. Dave, why don't you start? Hi, Joel. It's good to see
Hi.
you. We've
Thank
missed
you.
you.
Same here.
Everybody. Oh,
Hi,
there's
Joel.
Joe.
Dave, why don't you say a word about the reunion and what your impressions were for people who couldn't come?
Sure. I think it was a great success. There was no program per se, just mixing and mingling, and people really did get up and move around and talk to their friends and talk to people that probably didn't know that well in high school. And I got a lot of feedback that it was maybe our best reunion, even though only 80 attended, 80 total, including spouses and so forth.
That's a lot. I wouldn't say only.
Well,
80's
I
a
mean,
lot.
compared to our 50th, we had a lot more people. Sorry that Joel couldn't be there, and John.
Yeah, me too.
Ellen, but we had a nice,
Right.
and I hope you've seen the photos posted on the website.
Oh, I got a
Oh.
thing about the website.
Do you
I
have to
have to
be-
just tap it and I can see it?
Do I what?
Do I just tap the thing? I got a thing saying, look at our website. Do I just tap that? And I
don't
can
know
look
about
at it?
that. Just go to Uni High, winter 1961 at .classquest.com. And there are 2 sets of photos. They're in opposite order. I couldn't get them in the right order. Reunion 2 is first, reunion 1 is second, but look at reunion 1, then look at reunion 2. You'll see
Okay.
a lot of people having a good time. I think they're all properly labeled. I've got a few more I'm going to add. Melanie McDowell just sent in some that she took, and I'm hoping to get some more, and I'll add them as time permits. And our website was supposed to expire in September based on what I paid for it. And I asked if anyone wanted to sponsor it for another year, and Jerry Brill has volunteered, so it'll be up for another year. We can post whatever we want on it, but I can continue to put pictures up.
So you don't have to go to classmates.com to see these things, because I didn't join classmates.com.
No, it's Class Quest. It's not Classmates.
Or
So,
whatever.
yeah, you don't have to join. There's no cost to join.
You don't. Okay.
www.unihigh-winter1961.classquest.com.
Write that down.
Dave, what was your impression of people at 80? How had they changed?
They
over
were very old. I thought the people that could attend were in very good shape. You know, we had a lot of people who couldn't attend, would have if they could have, but I think the people there had a great time and were very full of life. And you know, it's supposed to go possibly to 4:30. People were still there at 6, other than Peggy, who her husband made her leave early.
That was a mistake. He can't come to the next one.
No, he's
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
You had a relative playing tennis across the street, right?
Yeah, my daughter-in-law was playing in a tennis tournament. So I said, perfect, you can go do that. And then my son lives close by, so you can go down and hang out at his house. And I was greeting people, saying, so excited to see everybody. And then he comes in the door. I went, oh my God, what's he doing here right now? And that's what happened. So he could never find her. There were only 4 people. There were like 10 people playing. I think anybody could have seen him. I figured his glasses were foggy or something. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to see what was going on at the reunion. But
Yeah.
then it was fun. We had a great time. It was really fun. For whatever time I was there.
And you said that what surprised you is people are basically the same.
Yep. People, yeah, I thought everybody seemed that I remembered that I knew of. I could have picked them out in a crowd and everybody was great. You know, everybody seemed, you know, all of us weird or normal, and all of our idiosyncrasies come out just the same way now as they did. So, you know what I mean? It was great. Everybody was fun. We had a really good time.
Bill, what was your impression of Uni High grads at 80?
I was very impressed, and I want to thank Dave for taking the lead on this. I did it once for the 10-year, and then I gave up after that, I think, because it was very time consuming. But yeah, no, I was surprised at how many years have gone by, but how you could still connect with people like it was, you know, in the recent past that we all got together. And I was very impressed with the attitude and the health, and one thing that was helpful and disappointed that more people didn't contribute, but during the bio profile on the website, I read that before I went, and so you can kind of pick up and ask deeper questions if you want to, for the experiences that people have had in their life. And I wish more people had done that. It would have been very, very interesting.
Well, as
Just-
Peg said, you have to do it another one.
It seemed
Yeah.
like everybody takes care of themselves. I mean, it seemed like everybody, maybe that's LA or something. I don't know where everybody was from. Are most people there probably from LA? And it just seems like people.
A lot from California, but Northern California too, Idaho, Arizona, Todd
Yeah.
Turnham, and Sam Hathorn from all the way from Houston.
Right.
So he came the furthest, because Patty Stanley was going to come from Alaska, did not come because she didn't come. Ethel didn't come, or vice versa. I'm not sure, but that I thought we'd have a few of those other people, and we had a few signed up who, like Wally Peterson, who was coming and didn't show, and Keith Natvig and his wife. I don't know what happened to them, but we probably had a few extra too.
Danny Hayton emailed to say hello, and he has a doctor's appointment because he had a hip replacement for, I think, for the 3rd time. So I'm hoping this is
Yeah,
what
He,
needs to be.
he's had a long recovery on this one.
Oh, well, Joel, tell us what you know and then tell us about you.
Uh, well, he went in for, I guess it's his third surgery, and they kept him. First of all, they kept him waiting for a long time because
In the
they were too
hospital?
busy. In the hospital, they had staffing problems, and it was a
Oh,
very
God.
good thing. And he had to stay there for like 2 weeks before they even operated. I think
What?
something like. I may
Wow.
not be accurate on that. So, but he. And then after the surgery, he had some post-op bleeding, so they had to keep him, but basically another week longer. But he's getting out, I guess, pretty soon. He said that originally it was going to be the 13th, and I think maybe he's out by now. We're supposed to get together on Saturday afternoon. We have a group of friends that talk together. And anyway, you asked about me. It's some days good, some days not so good. I back in the fall, I developed kind of a difficulty in breathing. I've been a long time jogger, and I prided myself on jogging 2.25 miles every week, once a week, around Fresh Pond Reservoir in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But I don't know, it began to be more difficult, and so some days I feel good, some days not so good, and I've been seeing a cardiac specialist about it, and I have a possible valve problem that might need eventual surgery, but so far they basically are not crying great alarm about it. But anyway, and I went out jogging today, but it was a little harder than usual. So I don't know. I do feel 80 at times, and tomorrow. I'm sorry, Wednesday. I'm having cataract surgery. 1.0, 2.0 is in early July. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to being able to see a little better. I hope, if all goes well.
Yeah, everybody says it makes a huge difference.
It can, yeah.
Yeah. And are you finished with the semester teaching, or is it?
Yeah, yeah. I wound down with grading students and so forth, but I'm publishing a book, and I got accepted to Lexington Books, and so I've been basically reformatting my manuscript for their specifications, which is not easy. I have to limit myself. The book has to be no more than 100,000 words, but I have a bibliography that's 5,000 or 6,000 words.
You can put it online and refer
Yeah,
back
that's
to
what
the.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. Yeah.
Lexington did a book of mine, and they did a terrible cover and have a reputation
Oh.
for doing terrible covers. So make
Okay.
sure you ask for approval of the cover.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to work that out. I'd like to find an image from a movie actually for the cover, but we're working on that.
And what's the title of the book?
It is, let's see, The Era of Catastrophe, parentheses, 1914 to 45, in films of Jewish experience from 1899 to 1947. It's a long title. Oh, 5 studies in mass media and mass destruction. Anyway, it's got a long title, but I'm hoping it'll attract readers.
And what's the takeaway? If we read the book, what would we go? Ah, that's interesting.
Well, I had started out wanting to look at movies about the Holocaust, but I realized once I got into it that the era of catastrophe really began much earlier. In fact, really even earlier than 1914, which was when World War I happened. But there was an explosion of stateless peoples, basically, and that had all these people wandering around Europe with no homeland to go back to, and that created additional chaos, which led to all kinds of things, including the rise of Nazism and the Soviet Union, and so I don't know. It was a very complicated and interesting period in history, and I'm trying to read it all through these 6 films in 5 chapters. One chapter covers 2 films, but in any case, and I go back in a reverse chronology. I start in 1947 and go back to 1899. But it's a book that took me basically 18 years to write. So I'm very slow, and I don't know, but it's it's been a
And
good
now will
event.
they make you full prof?
Yeah, probably. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really concerned about that. I'm not even concerned about if I can't come to an agreement about the word limit. I may find myself without a publisher, but anyway, I'm negotiating with this actually terrific woman who's the acquisitions editor, and she and I have had a lot of good communication. So
Oh,
I feel
great.
like she believes in the book in a way that previous publishers have not.
That's
So,
unusual. That's a treat. Yeah, keep that.
Yeah.
one.
You have a book through Lexington?
It's called
You said?
50-50 Parenting.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
I
they
have
did-
that. I have it.
Oh, the publicist was new and did nothing, literally nothing to publicize it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Somewhere.
Oh my goodness. Joel, just could you say a word? You've been teaching so many decades. Have you seen any changes or patterns? Like some people say this generation are fragile, teacups, anxious, want trigger warnings. I don't know. What have
Oh,
you seen?
my students are terrific. They're really amazing. A lot of them are in so-called STEM professions: science, technology, engineering, math, and they welcome an opportunity to get into their inner life. And we have sessions that are mostly based on discussion, but students are even required to lead discussion. And I don't know, it has turned out really well, and students have responded to the course really favorably. I do two tracks of teaching. One is biblical studies, and the other is cinema studies, and sort of the two halves of my career. And I don't know, I learn a lot from them, and it's quite amazing. One of my students is from the MacArthur family that they do the MacArthur grants, and he expressed a little sadness that he himself can't qualify for a MacArthur grant because he's part of the family. But in any case, he was one of my incredible students, really amazingly brilliant writer and thinker, and I felt very fortunate to have him as a student. And I don't know, I just have had, it's a very mixed group. I have a lot of people who were, I'd say more of my students are not Jewish than are Jewish, but they're very interested in the subject. And anyhow,
Where do you
I do.
teach?
Where do I teach? Tufts
Yeah.
University.
Tufts. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I don't know.
You're a brilliant man.
Bill, what have you been keeping busy with? What are your interests and what you're in love with in your life?
Let me ask one question, since you are also an educator, as is Joel. And the dramatic increase in intolerance of college students to conservative speakers, they want to throw them off campus or not let them speak. Whereas liberal speakers who go to conservative campuses are welcome with warm arms. And even Bernie Sanders said that the best audience he ever had was Liberty University, which is very, very conservative. So maybe you could give us some insights, because it really bothers me that our children or grandchildren are going to be exposed to this indoctrination where you can't listen to someone else's opinion.
Well, I welcome all opinions, and I've had conservative students in my courses, and one time many years ago there was a complaint that I was putting in too many liberal ideas or something, but I've toned that down, and I insisted that anybody can express an opinion, or not. Nobody is penalized for having opinions, whether liberal or conservative.
What about the speakers on campus? Have there been any like, oh, we don't want that speaker because they're too this or too that?
Yeah, probably. I mean, and there's a lot of Israel-Palestine issues. I mean, there's a group called Students for Justice in Palestine, and there are Jewish students who are very committed to Israel and its survival. So it's a complicated situation, and there is a case where we have Israel is a very ultra conservative state, and
now, yeah.
You know, Carol and I were there in January. It was quite my first visit there in since 1981. So 40 some odd years that I hadn't been there, and it's changed a lot. And but it was an extraordinary visit, and I connected with a lot of old friends in a nice way. But anyway, it's a very complicated situation.
Did that answer your question, Bill?
No, the question was really, why do students not want to listen to conservative speakers? And I think you've had incidents at Chico, certainly at Davis, University of San Francisco, Stanford Law, Yale Law. I mean, they just shout down the speakers and they run them off the campus.
I've known of no incidents like that at Tufts, but you know, I would say our students are fairly liberal in general, but you know, again, I don't have a litmus test for, you know, what they believe in or don't believe in, and I welcome them.
The question is, do they believe in listening and trying to question the opinions of others? And that seems to be the sticking point. And maybe Gail, you have an answer to that.
I haven't heard of that happening in Chico State, so I don't know about that. But I've heard of like Berkeley students didn't want some guy who was accused of being a pedophile or something. So
Good for them.
yeah, that's the only one I know of. So I'm pleading ignorance.
Well, Charlie Kirk, University of California, Davis, probably 2 months ago, the swimmer, what's her name, Riley Gaines, University of San Francisco, they had to run her, she had to be sequestered for 3 hours because the students were outside rioting.
What's her political orientation?
Well, she was a highly qualified national college swimmer, and she didn't feel that it was fair for males who claimed to be transgender competing against females. And as a result, she lost races to this Leah Thomas. And, you know, it's not a good result for women.
That's right.
Correct.
But students don't want to hear that. And especially if you're in college, I mean, you're there to, you know, explore and listen, and there's just no tolerance at all.
Well, the one that I know of the most is J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter person, has gotten a lot of criticism for saying, I don't think trans men should go in. I don't feel safe having men, even if they're trans, in women's bathrooms and stuff. And I know there's a huge backlash. She's gotten so much opposition. So I think that's problematic, and that people should be allowed to have their own points of view, for sure, and be listened to. Yeah, that's the whole point of a democracy.
Well, it's not being followed very well on the college campuses in the United States, and I'm surprised you don't know more about these incidents because they're widely publicized.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing it up. Tell us what you're doing personally. What are you flying? Do you still do stock market, or what are you playing around with?
No, I went flying today and flew up the coast to a little airstrip near the beach called Oceano, and walked over to a Mexican restaurant, had a couple of soft chicken tacos, and flew back. So went down and spent one day at the US Open, the Golf Open, which was a fabulous event. For those who are interested in golf, I golf, but I'm not so committed that I have to. I never watch it on TV, but it's fun to go see the event.
What do you think about the Saudi takeover of golf?
You know, I still don't understand that, and I've talked to a lot of people who are in the golf industry, and everyone's trying to figure out what the heck's going on, and no one has an answer yet.
Lie down. Lie down.
Uh-oh, lost the picture.
Taffy, is trying to get in, I think.
Mhm.
Taffy, can we see you?
Me? Oh, I bet I did I?
You
No.
look for the little icon for the video, make sure it
Yeah.
doesn't have a
I'll
line.
slash through it. Okay,
There you are.
there, okay. Slash.
Taffy, you went to the reunion, right?
I did,
And
Yeah.
you're in Idaho.
yes.
Well,
Back in
tell us-
Idaho. Yep,
Tell us
yep.
about your impressions.
Of the reunion? Well, I loved it. It was a good excuse to return to Southern California. At one time, my husband and I did live in Westlake Village, and we had our daughter's wedding reception at the Westlake Village Inn. So that was 30 years ago. So it was really fun to see how it's changed. It's a lovely place, and I stayed there because Dave Kuhn said he was staying there, and it's really a beautiful. And I look around Westlake, and it's so manicured, and everybody has the pretty white iceberg roses. And I said, why did we ever live here? Why did we leave? Why did we leave? And my husband said, remember, June, July, and August are really hot. And that's probably why we left. But it's a beautiful area, and the reunion was a lot of fun. And it brought us back to Westlake Village, and we used to live in Pacific Palisades, so we spent a couple of nights there at an Airbnb, and the reunion was a lot of fun. It was nice to see everyone. Ellen, I'm sorry you didn't make it, but it was.
Yeah, I am
It
too,
was-
but I was at a dude ranch.
Oh, that's right. You went to
The family.
Yeah.
Right.
well, and it's just like Gay went to Barbados or Bermuda,
Oh, lovely.
one of those bees. and
Bees,
she's-
right.
Bahamas. I was in the
So-
Bahamas.
But it was fun. And I know Dave did a lot of work, and his
Yes,
wife.
he did.
Yeah, so I'm glad we went. And
What
it
was your
fun.
impression of the people at 80?
Everybody who was there, they all looked pretty good, I thought. And let's see, did I recognize everyone? I believe I did. Some people I didn't know very well, so I probably didn't recognize them. But for those I knew, yeah, everybody looks pretty good for 80, I think. Yeah. And there was an article in our paper today about age. In fact, I don't remember. Wish my husband was here. He'd remind me of what the article was about. But it's, a lot of people don't feel their age. They feel 20 years younger. And that's how I feel. I don't feel like I'm 80 at all. I feel much, much younger.
Me either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel pretty young. And I look in the mirror. I'm going to be 80 on Friday. And I look in the
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I say, here's a lady who's about to be 80.
You
I
look
know.
darn good. You look wonderful, Taffy.
Thank you.
I remember my mother saying, oh, I look in the mirror and it's not how I see myself.
Yeah, I know. Who is that? Yeah,
So Taffy, what are you doing for fun? And like Ellen is a potter and makes beautiful ceramics, Bill flies his
Oh.
airplane, Joel's still teaching.
I
Peg-
wish I was artistic. I'm not an artistic person at all. What I do is I garden.
Well,
And
that's artistic. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's creative.
I enjoy gardening. And so I've been out doing stuff. And my garden was in the LA Times magazine.
Wow.
Yeah, let me see if I have it here.
Oh, that would be great. Why would they do an Idaho garden in LA?
Well,
Times?
no, it's when we lived in Malibu. We lived in Malibu at one time. And, oh darn it, where did I put it?
What do you do with your garden in Idaho winter? Is that a problem?
Well, you know what? Winter is so much easier. There's no work. All you have to do is blow snow. You do nothing. But anyway, my garden at one time in the late 80s, I lived in Malibu, and my neighbor taught at Pierce College, and she also took up photography, and she took a lot of pictures of my garden, and she submitted it to the LA Times magazine, which used to come out on Sunday. I don't know if it does anymore. And she had a really nice spread of my garden. And anyway, and it was also my husband had built some kind of a brick wall And then she and I worked together planning the colors, and she had a theme, different themes, and what you would plant for different themes. And so we worked together. And then when everything bloomed, it was mainly about how do you keep your animals out of your garden. And what was nice is my cat and my dog were both in the article in the background.
Oh, cute.
So anyway, I like gardening, and also I have a golden retriever that keeps me busy, and I've had 7 golden retrievers, and I do obedience and different things with the dog. So, and I walk. So I'm not artistic. I wish I painted. I have a friend who she makes beautiful artistic quilts. She does these art quilts, not the traditional log cabin and all that stuff. She has these fantastic looking quilts, and I admire her, but then I'd have to sit still if I did quilting, and I like to stay more active. So anyway, I'm a boring person. I don't have any hobbies.
No, you're not.
Thank you. And the one nice thing about having a dog is I go out every day. We walk various places. We go to the park. I meet people. And I find I like talking to people, and having a dog really makes you talk to people, because everybody always wants to come up and say, oh, what a pretty dog, and how old is he, and what kind of a dog. Anyway, I used to take one of my dogs to an assisted living. I did that for quite a few years with assisted living, and yeah, and the dogs liked it, and the people loved it. And we had to stop when COVID came along, and I never returned. But that was nice to see these people, and they really miss their dogs, and it was fun. And Dave is missing. Dave's gone. I see Captain David Kuhn.
Where are you in Idaho?
I live near Coeur d'Alene. And Coeur d'Alene is about 100 miles south of the Canadian border. We're parallel to Spokane, Washington.
You're near Hayden Lake, right?
Yeah, hi, Peggy. Hi, Peggy.
Hi.
Yeah,
I know we chatted.
Yeah, we're in Hayden Lake.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the city of Hayden Lake.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And your son.
Peggy, do you know Idaho?
No, just a little. My son got a place on, I believe it's Hayden Lake. So Taffy and I are trying to figure out, but I didn't know specifically where he is.
But you said it was Upper Hayden Lake Road.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere.
Upper Hayden Lake Road. Yeah.
Yeah.
But funny thing is, technically, he's in the city of Coeur d'Alene. I bet when you send him a letter, is it addressed to Coeur d'Alene 83815?
I don't send him a letter.
Oh.
He lives here. He just goes there. I mean, I'll get up there one of these days, and maybe we can connect if I do.
Yeah,
that.
well, if you should, if he has a house there,
Yeah.
you really should, especially summer. It's really nice in the summer.
I'm waiting for the invitation. He's going for 2 months, so we'll see if mommy gets invited or not.
Which you have 3 sons, so which son is this?
Greg,
Ah,
your namesake, your brothers. I named
yes.
my Greg because of her brother Greg. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So are your boys still doing the restaurant business?
Yep, they are getting very involved.
And why were they in Singapore? That one of them was in Singapore for years.
Why did he go to Singapore? Because he actually had several restaurants here. It was during the downturn, and he just felt he wanted to start anew. So he went to Singapore and started a baseball academy there.
Oh my God.
And that went on for 7 years, but then he moved back because I made life very miserable for him. I wouldn't talk to him, or I didn't want to fly to Singapore to see him. So anyway, so that was what happened. He came back, and he's here now. So that's good.
And he's doing restaurants with his bro?
Yeah, they do it together. One finds the sites, deals with the city, does all of that, builds it out, and then the other twin takes over with the operation. So it's working well. You know,
What's
you work out twins being 2 together, but working together. It's working.
Good.
What city? What city are they restauranting in?
Oh, I'm sorry, what
What
city?
city are they restauranting in?
Oh, what cities?
Yeah.
Well, it started with Westlake Village
Oh, uh-huh.
and then Ventura, then Santa Barbara,
Oh,
and then San Luis Obispo.
oh,
And
nice.
then
Yeah.
now he's over in Orange, Porter Ranch,
Mm,
maybe Palm Springs. There's like a lot. It is
okay,
moving
Good.
out.
good.
Is there a kind of food that he specializes in?
Yeah, it's kind of like I guess you'd call it a gastropub. It's pretty popular with the younger. He buys all they get not buy they lease old buildings and they try and keep it all looking sort of old. So lots of
Mm.
brick and copper and all that neat old. Even the
Mhm.
light fixtures are old and that's really they're very cool places. So the young
Mhm.
people love to go. The food is it's not inexpensive and it's not expensive. So it's affordable food, which is nice in this day and age. It's not.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to leave the call, but thank you for putting the call on.
Oh, thanks for
Dave.
joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice seeing you, Dave.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you soon.
So any thoughts about how to age well? Since everybody here has aged well.
Exercise.
Keep exercising as much as you can. Walking, Kathy. I
There
love
you go.
walking.
Be active, be involved.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Keep
Read.
your capacity for love in good working order.
Mhm,
How do you do that?
Exercising it, I guess.
mhm.
I don't know. Paying attention to people.
That's true.
Ellen, is your husband still around?
No, dear, he died 6 years ago.
Right, I thought, yeah. So how do you, oh, you have grandchildren, so that fills your love need.
I have grandchildren and I've made friends playing golf, and I have a gentleman friend that I go out to dinner with sometimes, and I keep busy and I keep active and involved.
Mhm, that's good.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I don't feel my age.
Yeah.
And,
None of us do.
and yeah, and I can't believe I'm this old. Somebody must be wrong. It just must be wrong.
Especially because everyone's turning 80 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like a big milestone of aging.
right.
The worst one, in my opinion.
Mhm.
The other 70s didn't bother me, but 80s, that's a
Mhm.
new.
Yeah.
Well, the alternative isn't very pretty, so I think we have to appreciate where we're at and keep going.
So
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, I tell myself I'm 40 and then my body feels like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
I just got back from the Bahamas snorkeling with my grandson at a Club Med, and coming back Saturday, the flight out of Miami was delayed, so we missed our connecting flight to Sacramento. So we were lucky enough to get a flight out at 7 in the morning. So we figured we'll just stay in the airport, which was
Mhm.
miserable because you can't
Yeah.
sleep because it's cold and noisy. So my grandson, who's 12, slept about an hour on the floor, and that was it.
Mhm.
And then he was thrilled because they upgraded us to first class, which was nothing on that little flight. And our flight attendant was an entertainer who kept us laughing the whole time. So it all
Fun.
worked out. But that was beautiful. Columbus Isle Club Med was beautiful snorkeling. I had snorkeled every day. It was so blissed
Good
out.
for you. Good for you.
How many 80-year-olds go snorkeling? Good for you.
Well, this 80-year-old, or almost 80-year-old, went whitewater rafting on a class 3 river called the
Whoa.
Animas River in Durango.
Wow.
And my son-in-law lost his balance. I tried to grab his leg. I went over him into the river. He followed me into the river. He turned me around and I was pulled out and he was pulled out. And it happened so quickly that 2 of my grandchildren who were in our raft didn't even know we were out of it.
Wow.
Oh, my
And I
God.
wasn't, thank God for a helmet and a life
Yes.
jacket. I wasn't hurt, but it was quite an experience. And then we had to continue whitewater rafting for another hour after that.
Being all wet and cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Gay, I'm so sorry. I have to go. Are you going to do this again?
Sure.
Good. Let us know.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
that's your,
Look,
oh my
Oh.
God.
I found it.
oh, wow.
Let's see. I don't know if you
Wow,
can see it.
Kathy.
I don't know.
wow,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
let's
It
see,
looks
that was
gorgeous.
Garden in Malibu. Here, where am
Okay.
I? That's okay. That looks backward. That's me and my golden retriever and my cat.
Oh, how
We
good.
can't really see the little one.
Yeah, we couldn't
Anyway.
see the little one, but
Yeah.
the
well, anyway,
colors are gorgeous.
Yeah.
John
so
could
was
paint
the
that,
article.
couldn't he? John could
Oh,
paint.
that would be very cool to paint.
Yeah. And this was the cover at the time, LA Times magazine.
Oh,
That's who was on the cover.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just found it.
Oh, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, that was great.
1986. So,
Well, and any more words of advice, or have we covered the waterfront for today?
I think we're good.
and,
I
and
think
drink-
we're good. I think we covered the waterfront. Bill, by the way, thank you for calling me regarding the reunion. That was really
Hi.
sweet of you.
My pleasure. I'm glad you answered.
Yeah. So
Okay.
was I.
Well,
Bye.
Thank you, Gail.
Gay.
See everybody.
guys, very good
Oh.
seeing you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Hey,
Joel, you're gonna
Gail?
get to editing soon, right?
I've been editing all day, the past few weeks.
Joel's doing
Yeah, I have a
a
lot more to
chapter
do
for
though.
me.
Pardon
Okay,
me?
I was telling them that you're doing a chapter in a book I'm working on. So,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
we'll,
editing I'm
we'll
talking
communicate
about.
more about that.
Okay. Okay,
Gail, thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Gail,
Bye,
will you put the website in an email so I make sure I get the right website?
Yeah,
so
I
can look
would
at the
welcome that
pictures?
information too.
You mean for
Yeah.
the uni high?
The Uni High
Yes, yeah.
website
sure.
information.
How do you
Okay.
do this thing about password on that thing? That's the thing that stumps me on everything. When they
too.
say password, I'm lost. And that happened when I was trying to get on the website. Does it mean some password of mine, or is there a password that's generally
You better
used?
email Dave, because I don't think any of us know, right?
Passwords in general should not be required.
Yeah, they should.
But yeah. So if there is one that someone's asking for, it's not the right
Don't,
site to be
yeah.
at.
don't
Really?
be it. Okay,
I think.
I'll email the link.
thank you. Thank you
Okay.
very much, because I'd love to see the pictures.
Yeah, be fun.
And
Um,
Gail, I did get a call after one of the Zooms I was on, I guess the first Zoom, from Jerry Brill. So it was really lovely. I was
Oh,
so
she
happy
saw
to hear
you.
from her. Yes, and I
Oh,
was
neat.
really pleased. Yeah, I was really pleased. So that was nice.
Oh, good.
So thank you for doing this. I really do
Oh,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Enjoy, and
Thank you.
we'll talk in July.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks,
So-
Joel.
Bye-bye.
Nice
But
seeing
Joel,
you, John.
don't go. I'm talking
Oh.
about editing our chapter.
Yes. I definitely want, I worked
I'll
on
let-
editing a lot of it, but I don't, and I think Carol and I had some reservations about the format of the whatever performance gets done on a recorded site. And I don't know, we need to talk about that. But I was working on that manuscript, and I got it down to a reasonable amount that I was happy with. I'm stuck until July 31st.